Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be doing my second edition of 4 Faves and a Fail. So I've been on my OB rotation this month, so I haven't had as much time to play around with beauty stuff as I have the last couple months just because I've been in the hospital for like 60 hours a week by choice. But I do have a couple new things I tried out. I have a couple new products, a couple new like tools, and a fail that kind of was like actually disappointing to me. So without further ado, let's begin. So my first item of the month is the Z palette. I talked about this a little bit in my last video just because I said I was debating if I wanted to depot my Tartelette eyeshadow palette. So I received this about 3 weeks ago, I think, and I kind of started the process and then stopped for a little bit. But I've really been enjoying this. So what I have in here right now is a bronzer, a yellow under eye powder, 2 blushes, and my 5 favorite colors from my Stila's In the Light eyeshadow palette that I loved some of the colors and I wasn't using like half of them probably, so I'm so happy I did this. It does take a little bit of time to depot all of your various eyeshadows and blushes, which is why I haven't done it all, but I'm very happy with just having this palette in general. My boyfriend and I went to Detroit a couple weeks ago and it was so nice to take like half of the amount of stuff in my makeup bag that I usually do. So I'm excited to fill this up. So the method I used to get the makeup out of the pots was the one where you place it on a straightening iron. There are a bunch of tutorials on YouTube that you can find that would explain it way better than I would be able to, but that's what I did. It worked out pretty well. It does take a little bit of time, but I think that it was pretty much worth it. So I like that you can still move everything around. You can change your mind about various things that you want in your palette. I plan on really only having like one go-to palette for like the stuff that I use every day. I know people make their blush palettes and eyeshadow palettes, but I really want this as a palette that I can have my absolute go-to makeup on and that I can just take with me at all times, which will be very handy because I will be traveling on and off for the next like 8 months, really until the end of 2016. I will be traveling probably half of the year. So I'm very excited to use this. I got the palette for about $20 on Amazon and I will link it below if you're interested. My next item of the month is probably the cutest of the month. This is Too Faced Love Flush and Love Hangover. It promises to be a 16-hour blush. I actually found this through another YouTuber, Ashley from Makeup TIA. I found her last month after a reader actually sent me a tweet and said that I should check her out. And I did. I watched a bunch of her videos and I thought she was so cute. So thank you for the suggestion, and I recommend that you guys all check her out. But she said that this blush was one of her favorites from 2015, and I've seen this at Sephora for quite some time. I mean, how can you miss it? It's like a little heart. How cute is that? But I finally gave it a try, and I really enjoy this. So mine, like I said, is in Love Hangover, which is kind of like a dark peach almost, which I don't usually do. I usually go for more of the pinks, like you can see. You know, these are more the colors that I usually do, but I really have been enjoying this. I do think it has a little bit more staying power than some of my other blushes do. Like I mentioned last month, I tried out that blush palette from Morphe and I found that it wasn't working for me, but I think this is a pretty good product to try out. I have not depotted this yet to put in my palette just because I think the packaging is so cute and I'm kind of just like enjoying it for a little bit, but this is definitely going to go in my palette. I'm also working on a post for tips and tricks and products that will help your makeup stay longer and through the day, and this is definitely going to be on. My next item of the month is the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. I've been using this on and off for about 6 months now. I use the Anastasia Brow Powder, the Duo, for like years, but I found it didn't really have the staying power that I needed it to have. So I found this, I don't remember who recommended this, I wish I could remember, but I bought this in like probably August or September and I used it on and off for a little while, then I kept on flip-flopping between a bunch of things, but now I'm back to using this kind of religiously. So the way that you use this is that on the one side you have your color and it's in like a thicker pencil. So the Anastasia Brow Wiz has that like thin edge. This has more of a tapered, thicker edge, which means that you can get more product on more quickly without wasting as much time, which is great in the morning if you're not really wanting to spend a lot of time doing this. On the other side, you have your spoolie. I really like this spoolie almost more than I like the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It really gets the job done quickly and efficiently, and just, I think the spoolie is like an essential part of doing your eyebrows just because it makes everything look a little bit more natural. So that is how this works. Obviously, there's a bunch of other types of brow pencils out there, but I've been using this one and I really enjoy it. I will link it below for those of you who are interested. Alright, so my last favorite item of the month is a Clinique lip product that's a little easier for me to pronounce than the one from last month. This is the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Pink Honey. So I know that Clinique has been doing those honey lipstick shades for years, if not decades at this point, but I've never given it a try. So when I saw this at Sephora a couple weeks ago, I figured, why not now? So this is a really pretty light pink color. It really is like your lips but better. The thing I like about this lipstick, besides that it's very pretty and it goes on very natural and that it feels really nice on your lips, is that it almost stains your lips. So it's not a lip stain, you know, the kind that dry out your lips, but it just kind of gives a little extra color to your lips even after the lipstick has worn off. So I really enjoy this. I've been using this every day. I've been wearing this in the hospital because it is really like a work-friendly color. I personally don't wear brighter colors when I'm in the hospital or at work because that is work. I'm supposed to be like professional. But this is great for just adding a little bit more color to your face without being like baboom, like pink lips, you know what I mean? I think this was fairly inexpensive actually. I think it was about $16, which isn't so bad for a higher end product. So if you're looking for something for day, for wearing to work, or if you're like new to lipsticks and just want to try a little bit something, this would be a great place to start. So my last product of the month is kind of a cop-out because I didn't actually buy it. So anytime that I go to Sephora, I always ask for a sample from the skincare section. I usually get a mask and not a moisturizer or a cleanser because I feel with a moisturizer or a cleanser, you really have to use the product for like weeks or months at a time before you can actually really like know how it works for you. But with a mask, you're gonna know right away if you like it or you don't. So for the last couple years, every time I went to Sephora, I basically asked for the Glam Glow Mud Mask, the one that comes in the black tube. And those samples, which come in a container about this size, would last me probably 2 to 3 uses. And getting that sample in and out every time I went there convinced me to finally actually buy the product. So now I actually have the Glam Glow mask. So when I was there the last time, I figured why not try one of the different Glam Glow masks because I love the other one so much. So I got the Glam Glow Gravity Mud Firming Treatment, which you may have seen in magazines or on Instagram or something because it's the mask that goes on silver. So I have a short video to show you what it looks like. And so you can see it goes on silver and it's a peel off mask. The product is $69, which is kind of a crazy amount of money to spend on something that maybe isn't worth it. For me, the Glam Glow that came in that black container, the drying one I've mentioned over and over again, it was worth the $69 to me. You don't have to use a lot of it. I've been using it since December and I'm probably only halfway through it. I use it probably once a week and it's made such a difference in my skin and getting rid of that flaky, dry skin. Anyway, for me, it just was not worth the price. I don't think it really did a lot, and maybe it's one of those products you have to use over and over again, like a cleanser or a moisturizer, but knowing that how much product I needed to use it one time, and therefore knowing that I'm gonna get like 6 uses out of the container, just for me isn't worth it. If you're curious or just wanna try out the silver mask because it's fun, I highly recommend going and trying it yourself, because for some people it probably does make a big difference, but for me, I was not gonna spend $70 on it. All right, so those are my March 4 favorites and a fail. Nothing too crazy this time around, but still, I think it's fun to talk about what works and what doesn't. So I'd love to hear what has worked and what hasn't worked for you this month. Please leave me a comment, send me a tweet. I love when people recommend products or YouTubers or websites or any of those things. So let me know if you've found anything recently worth sharing. Hi everybody, it's Fran. As if you didn't know that already. An edition of 4 fails. No, 4 faves. 4 faves. Crack out the most of it. Alright, my next item of the month would have been more appropriate in February, but I think it's pretty cute. Pretty cute, yeah. It's good. My next item of the month is one that was recommended to me. This is the Too Faced Love Flush and Love Hangover. I obviously can't remember. Love Flush and Love Hangover. Why do they do this to me? God. Okay. But I've really been enjoying this. It does have a little bit more staying power. Staying power. The item of the month is the Charlotte Tilbury. My next item of the month is the Charlotte Tilbury. Like the staying power. Why? Bear! Why doesn't it say the color on it? With this firming mask, I'm just like holding this paper. So my last favorite item, my next item of the month is the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. Oops. This is the Clinique Almost Lipstick and Pink Honey. Pink Honey, everyone. I figured now was the time to try. This did not, and this is just when you get, or out of this. I keep holding this because this is what it comes with. It tells you what it is and how to use it, but I don't actually have the container anymore. But if you are curious or just want to try out a silver mask,